All right, take two. It's going to be better than the first. I'm so excited to be joining you all. So make sure that you can hear me. Can I get some thumbs up that you can hear me? Take two. We're all good. All right, I'm going to drop them down here. All right, I'm hoping that you can all hear me. We're just going to test this real quick. All right. Okay, here we go. It's about to get real. All right, for those of you that were just joining me and you're like, what happened? So apparently I was having some sound issues. So hopefully I'm good to go. We're just going to test this out here. All right, I'm going to continue and let's get this started. So for some of you that know, we have 2 more days. That's right, 2 more days. Thursday the 26th, we are launching Talking with Terry TV. We're going to be doing some live streaming, so make sure that you're close to your computer if you're not in the Colorado area. For those that are joining us in the live launch, I'm so excited to be connecting with you in person and celebrating this new program on YouTube. So, all right. Yay! You guys can hear me. That's half the battle, right? So I'm going to drop down, I'm going to put down on here where you can subscribe. Make sure that you turn on those notifications and join us on YouTube, Talking with Terry TV. The link is right down below. So come and join us. And if you know of any entrepreneurs, entrepreneur friends, women entrepreneurs, business owners, whether they're starting out, they're growing their business, or they are, you gonna say hi?
Let's go done with my skincare.
Your skincare? That's good. That's good.
I need to go put a pimple patch on.
Okay, a little pimple patch. Oh my goodness. Okay. So make sure that you go and share the love, because my intention with this is really about impacting entrepreneurs in a new powerful way. Because what if we could work smarter, not harder? What if we could have a bigger impact? And I'll tell you this right now, that most of us would agree. Oh, let me go into comments here. Here we go. Yes. Okay. Here we go. We're back. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, folks, because I would have been here like in mime world, like trapped in this mime experience, and you guys wouldn't have been able to like feel it. So I think most of you would agree that we are living in such an incredible time. And I know that we could easily go and look at all the things that are happening that feel negative, that look like doom and gloom. And if we put our focus on there, whatever we put our focus on expands. And so I'm going to invite you to look at it this way. We are living through a time that may never happen again, for sure, our lifetimes. And we were chosen for this time and this space, and we are chosen for bigger things. Hey honey, B. Okay. Last week, you guys saw me with the dog. Todd Sticker is live in studio. You guys went, oh, look at your like eyes. Those are kind of creepy. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they're like all glowing red. For those that are in Colorado, that looks like the Bronco out at the DIA. I wonder if we put you this way that you won't look so creepy. We got Creepy Dot Steer live in studio. Yeah, you're still gonna look creepy, dog. Sorry. I'm sorry. So, anyways, he wants his 5 minutes of fame. Okay, here we go. All right. So everyone would agree that we were chosen for this time and space. And it's a powerful time to be living in. And I think it's fair to say that in the last 3 years, we've had a little bit, just kidding, a lot of transition. We've had lots of ups and downs and uncertainty, fear, unknown. I mean, we've been thrown everything. Like, I really do believe we should get some t-shirts that says I survived, right? Like, at least, right? But in this time of transition, and I'm making some light of it, but we all know that we've felt the pain. We've felt the tragedy, the unbelievable destruction that the last 3 years have had. And this is where we're going into this phase of rebuilding. And when we're living in a time that we are experiencing the breakdown. We're experiencing the breakdown of ideas, the breakdown of systems. We are experiencing the breakdown on all levels, individually, on a family, on a community, on a global scale. And so that's why does it feel so, I mean, it's so intense. It's so magnified, if you will. And so there is a breakdown before the breakthrough. And I trust that this is happening for us, not to us. And today I had 3 phone calls, and conversations were so incredibly powerful in the sense of every single one of these ladies that I had a conversation with, in some level or some degree, shared their true knowing of what they are here to do. And it was so profound. And I just like, each one of them had said, you know what, I know that I am living through this time because it's now. I know that I'm coming into what I'm supposed to be doing. And Terry Cardula, feel more than ever before that I am supposed to help on this crusade, this breakthrough, this energy shift, if you will, on a way bigger scale than I had ever intended or planned on. And it's those conversations that bring me great joy to be like, these women know within it, like beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they are meant to help people through what we are going through, and the rebuilding, and this energy and this expansion in this really profound way. Because, I see the breakdown. I own another company, a counseling company, and for the last 3 years, I've been saying, the silent pandemic that we've been refusing to talk about, to refuse to bring to the forefront, is the pandemic of mental health. And so we've had this huge ripple effect, and now, and I'm not going to go into and share all the gruesome details of that world, but I see the breakdown. I see people coming in more and getting support more than ever before for all of the things. And what's happening is that we are releasing and letting go of all the stuff that's not been serving us on this lifetime or any of the lifetime. And it is intense. It's intense. And so I see the breakthrough, but I trust that the breakdown is coming so that we can have the breakthrough. Right. And so we are experiencing this time in our lives that we may never experience again. And it's profound and powerful. And we should just take a moment, if you will, just to say, like, wow, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to be in this space and to be going through this process on this time. So, I can't help but think about a client that I was just recently talking about. So the title of this tonight is, talked about, is it time to pass the baton? Is it time to release the baton? And so, um, I think there's been so much pressure to put on us. And I had a client just recently share with me today that um, she's done some massive stuff. She's an incredible entrepreneur. She has been really not necessarily hard on herself, but really putting a ton of pressure on herself the last 3 weeks to get this case to move forward. And she has done all of this work. Okay. And I think there's a point where we've got to know, when do we release it? Okay. And so I told her today, I said, it's time. It's time to release the baton. The baton is no longer yours. You've done so much for this case and where it's at, but there's nothing more for her to do. Okay. And what's happening is that she's trying to control it by thinking her way into, like, right. And I'm just like, it's time to let it go, because I've shared on here before that oftentimes energetically what we can do is like end up squeezing things, and it's like squeezing the bunny, and we don't want to even necessarily visualize what happens when we do that, right? And so are you in your life finding at a place and space where you're like, okay, I've done all that I can do. I can no longer, quote, control the outcome. I can no longer control what's going to happen next. And if I've done all the work that I've led up to, sometimes it's time to really bless and release. And it's about handing off the baton. And so I actually, when I was sharing this with her, I was like, oh yeah, this is a great a metaphor about, handing off the baton, like you're in like the Olympics and you're doing the 4x4s or 4x100s or four, whatever there are. I'm clearly not a runner, okay, or a sprinter. Um, but I actually like Googled like passing the baton, and I forgot because I remember like in high school when I tried out for all the sports because I felt like I needed to do sports. But I remember trying, and we did the whatever relay. What's the one that's just around the is it the just the one track? If you guys can tell me, that would be great. Put it in the chat. Just the one track. So it's like a quarter of a mile, right? And you have 4 people, right? Anyways, so there's like, it's a quick sprint. But you know what? I remember when we were training for that of the baton, and your natural tendency is to look back, right? But if you look back, you lose time, and it throws off the whole thing. So you got to trust, right? You got to trust, and it really was a trust exercise. Okay, if any of you have been competitive in this, you guys can probably speak way more intelligently about this. But you've got, it's all about touch and feel and touching and trusting, right? And so that person who's, you know, is preparing to take it, right? They're putting their hand out and they're ready to receive it. And the other person is just going forward and just trusting that they've got it, right? And I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we kind of flub up the handoff. And I remember that takes a lot of time and energy to trust that process. And as entrepreneurs, sometimes it's about releasing, not necessarily to another person, although it can be a teammate, it can be trusting your team, it can be trusting, I know that a lot of entrepreneurs, one of the biggest things that they have when they bring on team, they're so afraid that like, well, I can do it better than them and I don't have to explain it, da, da, da. And it's all about trusting, right? So trusting your team, trusting your staff, trusting, your 1099s, your contractors, trusting, if it's a relationship like this person that I was talking to the other day, is like, trusting that this other company is going to take the baton, and just trusting it and just being like, okay, I can let go. And so because that energy that when we don't dismiss that energy, what we do is we try to take it on and hold on to it physically and emotionally. And it's harder, it's not impossible, but it's harder to make movement, it's harder to create change, it's harder to create impact if we're always trying to control it, right? And squeeze onto it. Okay, speaking of the baton, Dot's digger is trying to grab his baton, which I'm keeping away from him for this minute. So when we get to that place, it's like bless and release. So we're talking about just blessing and releasing, surrendering, which I think, and I'm still practicing that. I'm telling you, I don't think I've mastered it quite yet, but I'm practicing it. Okay. But and for this particular person, I said, you know what? It's time just to release it. You've done all that you can. Your next step is just to hold faith and to trust that it's going to work out, and it's going to work out in the highest and greatest good for all, right? And literally, I just told her, I was like, you got to shake it off. You got to cut it. So we did some cord cutting, and we also did some clearing around her responsibility and her need to want to do this, right? And so just disengaging and then trusting the process that next person is going to take the baton in whichever sees fit in your company, because that's different for all of us, right? So, and then here's the thing: what I invite you to do, and I want you to play with, and this is your homework, if you will, wink, wink, is when you feel that pressure, when you feel that need to control things, to make it right, to do whatever it is, I just want you to just notice it, right? Just notice it, feel into your body, And one of the questions I like to ask, and you guys that have been following me for a really long time, can simply say, you close your eyes and you just say, what's right about this that I'm not getting? And simply by asking the question, you're just going to have awarenesses or insights. And it might come immediately, it might come an hour later, it might come, after you have slept during the night and it comes the first thing in the morning, it might come a week later, okay? But just asking that question, you can get some clarity, but just feel into it, feel that emotion, feel what is bringing to you, because oftentimes, again, I will say this again and again and again, that our emotions are nothing to be feared of. The emotions that we experience are our internal guidance system. It's just giving us information. It is a information highway that's helping us navigate those natural feelings of where do we go next. Okay, and so oftentimes when we feel that anxiety or we feel the squeeze, if you will, it's simply like, okay, I gotta breathe. I gotta breathe and I gotta release. I got to let go. And so blessing and releasing is one of those ways to do it. And surrendering, and surrendering is all about just trusting that the greatest and highest good will reign out. And so I'm just going to share a couple quick things that you can do when you're ready to release. Literally just doing this. And also I just will say bless and release. I just bless and release, right? Bless and release, not mine to carry. Okay. And especially if we're not sure if it's ours or somebody else's, you can actually just say, does this belong to me? And if it's a yes, it's yours. 99.9% of the time, it's not yours to carry. Okay. And all you have to do is say, return to center of consciousness. Okay. And we start to play with energy in this capacity of our business, we can actually do so much more for our company and for our business and for the impact that we have by being in tune with the energy. And so I release and let go is another great way of saying it. And then if you're not familiar with the Ho'oponopono saying, it's I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And that's a great way to clear and clean as well. And then also by just saying, I completely release whatever that is. Release this need to do this, release the under whatever it is. Just I release blank, the problem, the issue, the whatever, and I allow it to work itself out for the greatest and highest good for all involved, right? And so setting that intention, speaking life into that will shift the energy. And so I think sometimes when we get into we feel like we're stuck in the problem and we keep focusing on the problem, hoping that a solution will appear. And actually what we're doing actually the opposite. We're actually creating it to be worse. And so when we bless and release it, it's almost like just putting it out there. It's giving the baton to somebody else. And if you want to, maybe that is a baton to your staff member. That's a baton to somebody else. It's in this particular case, it was a baton to somebody else that's unrelated to her business, right? And we just got to trust. We just got to trust that it'll be taken care of. And sometimes that baton is in a more profound way. It's giving it back to God. It's giving it back to our angels. It's giving back to universe. It's giving back to, life force energy, whatever you believe in, or whatever your higher source and higher power is. It's giving it back. Right? Maybe it's just giving it back to space, right? But it's just blessing and releasing that process. And it is such a game changer. So if it's time to pass the baton, you can just simply, just trust and lean into it, right? Just like when you're passing the baton, you're leaning into it and allowing everything else and yourself to be supported by the process. And I'm telling you, it is such a game changer, okay? So I just want to, before we wrap up real quick, thank you for being patient tonight. Sorry it's taken me a little bit longer to figure this out, but hopefully we're good to go in the future. But I want to invite you, if you have not gone in, you can see down at the bottom, look at that, fancy pants. Go to Talking with Terry TV on YouTube. The link is down below. Unfortunately, we cannot, you know what? I wonder if I can just, I think we're going to try something. I'm gonna get pretty fancy on y'all. I think if you just do, if I go into and I type in the link, um, I think if I put it in the link right here, you guys will be able to click on it. Yes, I'm going to try this. Mary, if you're still with us, I'm going to have you take a look, and if that works, that will be great. So I'm just going to type it in here. So it's youtube.com/@ talking with Terry. Want to spread the word. We have some big targets to hit this year. And did I do that right? Yes. Okay, so I'm dropping it into the chat. So hopefully you guys that are coming on either computer or into your phone, you'll be able to click right there and add that and just go straight there now. So, and for those that are coming to the in-person live launch party. I can't wait to connect. I can't wait to celebrate with you all because we're just going to celebrate all the people that have really been a huge contribution in bringing this to fruition. This has been something that has been in the making for quite some time, and then just in the last year really like, okay, here's how it's all going to work out. And again, speaking of trusting and passing the baton, there was multiple times I'm like, what is this? How is this going to happen? How is this going to work? And I will tell you, and Mary can attest to this, that the things just started like falling into place, and I just can't make it up. Like I can't, like, maybe one day, if you guys come to the live event, I will share with you kind of some of the other behind the scenes that took place and having this all fall together. So again, when we look at the big planet, we can look at it as falling apart, or we can look at it as it's falling together. And I'm going to choose the latter of it falling together, and that people and places and spaces and all this other stuff is all being orchestrated in a really profound way that we may not be able to see right now. But, when we step back, really step back, we can start to look at how it's all playing out and being orchestrated in our favor. And that, my friends, is a really powerful place to live in and be create space in, is being in that place of space of allowing, blessing, releasing, and surrendering, and just letting us be supported by God, spirit, angels, the universe, and everything in between, right? All right, so I can't wait to see you on the 26th. Be sure to pop over there, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you're up to date. We are going to be sending over tons and tons of content. That's going to really be my new platform moving forward. And so you're going to be seeing reels, you're going to be seeing behind the scenes stuff. For those that have been following me for some time and want to know how many hot pink dresses I really do own, well, that's going to be dropped over there as well as just like my life in general. So if you want to come and check out what we do behind the scenes, what we're doing, what we're creating, the conversations, the juiciness that happens, and some of my weird quirks, yeah, that's where you're going to find it at. Okay, so make sure that you come over there and play with us over there. And as always, everyone, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love, and I will see you over on the YouTube channel. Mwah! We'll see you there. Bye bye.